Hello, my name is Neil Sandage. I am a Federalist, a Republican monarch, or for the monarchy. That's the word. And somebody remote-controlled radar, transcranial magnetic stimulation, cognitive radar, fusion EEG, influences my speaking, and sometimes I misspeak. So Florida Ballot, and I'm just trying to chug through it, and stuff is interfering with my head and my ability to focus. It's 24 hours, 103 times a second radar. It's like a minimum 103 times a second that it alters the state of humans. It's actually in the millions, but you would estimate about 1 million people in range of it. So it could actually stagger out 103 times 1 million people. Great. All right, so Florida Amendment 4, vote no. EPA and cost versus greed for passing stuff. If we're going to do anything environmental, it would block most educated people from ever changing the government. So Florida Amendment 4, vote no. Florida Amendment number 1, and I don't know why it's listed like this, citizen requirement for voting initiative. I want to be able to vote anywhere in the 48, so I'm voting no. And it's the citizenship requirement of the county or city and stuff like that. That's annoying. Also, if you have a state ID, you should be able to vote in your state. And so this is just annoying, and across the entire state. I can drive the entire state. I mean, you could even set it up where it's like represents this zone can drive to this zone, some such like that. Just like a working range, 4-hour drive, anything in a 4-hour drive you can vote for. That's how I would like it. So no and no, and then Federalist Republican. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 2 open primaries, state office. This is a tricky mind screw. I should say mind trap. We want the elections to be open, but it says you're only allowed 2 in an open system. So that's like the opposite of open. That closes it all over again. So that's no good. Oh, great. Yeah, because you would have 1 from each party anyways. And so they went open, but then they didn't let anybody vote on anything other than this 2. So that's no good. You always, in math, the teachers tell you need a minimum of 3 to do averaging, because the average of 2 is a strange thing. And it's really just the halfway point. And you could do an average of 2. But you really want to get up into averaging that allows medians and modes. And so 3 allows a median. You can find the median, which one's the middle value. And then 5, you can find the mode. Do any of these repeat in the group? Or what is closest to the center? What is the clustering? So the mode, you would always want 5 candidates. If you opened it up, the reason to open it would be so you could allow more people. And then they say that it costs more to have 2 people in an open system. Like, how is that? There would be 2 parties competing for both candidates. Which one of the 2 would win? So it's a greed thing for who's running, instead of at all increasing the choices. And so that's no good. Also, there should be an educational value, a debate value. 2 people debating is a very small classroom. So no to the open, but only 2. The Florida Amendment for $15 minimum wage initiative, I believe in a $10 minimum wage and then $5 into escrow that the employer has to invest into the health and safety of the employees, whether it be break rooms, whether it be meals, whether that be other things. Just $10 minimum wage, $5 escrow. And that also is health and safety, fringe benefits such as legal insurance, and all that. So they're doing it wrong when they try and make it fives, paying out to employees and keeping track of things, $10 minimum wage, and really don't want to go any higher than that. But I do see that there's female safety and male safety, and higher minimum wage results in higher fitness. If you don't have a minimum wage, then people bully the pretty people into doing the physically fit work. And you wind up killing off all the pretty people as laborers in OSHA accidents. Occupational Safety Health Administration should be a federal thing. Said it's locally controlled to get rid of all the models in Alabama and Mississippi where obesity is exploding because there isn't a state minimum wage. So we want a minimum wage, but whoever's in the system is saying, fuck you, stick it up your ass and explode your country or explode your state and crush your budget and, fuck the mom and pops, make it corporate, because these high minimum wages are a problem. There needs to be fine workings to it where there's a profit margin instead of a flat minimum wage. There should be a profit reinvest happening with any kind of minimum wage thing. So in 2021, it'll be $10, and I'm wanting to stop it there and then change it where we'll say like $15 cap, but $5 escrow, and then amend it so that mom and pops and startups can do shared profit with like almost nothing, like when you're a waitress or something, and or when you're starting out at a car dealership as a salesperson, how there's this minimum of whatever it is. And then, I don't really want to use the car metaphor, but being a waiter or waitress or a hostess, and then you get a allocation of the shared profit pool or tips pool as the back kitchen and other things. I didn't see that in the back kitchen, but some places do that. The bus people split wages with the kitchen. So anyways, so Save Our Homes initiative moves your homestead from a 2-year window to a 3-year window. We want that. That's already part of the state statutes where they're not allowed to tamper with the value of a property for 3 years, but we want the value of the property to also migrate to any new purchase for 3 years. And anyways, purchasing, shopping, and market can take some time when people move or whatever. Honestly, I believe everything should just be 4 or 5 year. 5 years is easy. I like good even numbers. People are always like, use it or lose it. I'm kind of like, that's kind of a thief thing. You weren't using it, so I took it. I'm like, that's not right or just or anything. Also, homestead should be no property tax on a property. You get one homestead and no property tax on your homestead at all. That needs to be a law. Now, homestead is for home and not business or commercial. Yeah. No taxes on homesteads. And the other thing about homesteads is a homestead should be a property, and they're saying housestead. Alexa, define home.
Sorry, can you repeat the word?
HOME.
As a noun, home is usually defined as a house, apartment, or other shelter that is the usual residence of a person, family, or household. As an adjective, home is usually defined as of, relating to, or connected with one's home or country, domestic. As an adverb, home is usually defined as to, toward, or at home. As a verb, home is usually defined as to go or return home. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for home.
All right, no, it's just there's a song called "Home on the Range" where the deer and the antelope play. Maybe they was just shooting the deer and the antelope, the males and the females. You'll figure it out in a moment. But I always imagined it was owning a field somewhere, because people don't always have money to build, but they do have money to purchase property. I believe that everybody should be able to purchase and own land in the United States and own that land without taxes. Yeah. So I might have to work on the word homestead. Home. We'll call it steady state. Home steady state. Instead of stead, we're calling Alexa, define steady.
As a noun, steady is usually defined as application of the
Alexa,
mind to the
define steady.
As an adjective, steady is usually defined as firmly placed or fixed, stable in position or equilibrium. As an interjection, steady is usually used to urge someone to calm down or be under control. As a noun, steady is usually defined as a person of the opposite sex whom one dates exclusively, sweetheart, boyfriend or girlfriend. As a verb, steady is usually defined as to make or keep steady, as in position, movement, action, character, etc. As an adverb, steady is
So
usually
there's what's
defined
wrong
as
with that.
in a firm or steady
They're
manner.
saying stead,
For more,
like
ask me
instead,
to give you more definitions
but it's
for steady.
steed, homesteed. And so the word should be pronounced homesteed. Alexa, pronounce stead.
I pronounce that stead, but I'm always working on how I say things and I might not have it right.
Alexa, the word is steed.
No, John Steed is not a word.
John Steed. I don't know why I'm laughing at that. Alexa, who is John Steed?
According to Wikipedia, Major the Honorable John Wickham Gascoigne Beresford Steed MCOM, usually known as John Steed, is a fictional character and the central protagonist on the popular 1960s British spy series The Avengers and its 1970s sequel The New Avengers. Played by Patrick McNee, both by Donald Monade in the South African radio series adaptation of The Avengers, by Ralph Fiennes in the 1998 film of the same name, and by Julian Wadham in the new Big Finish audio series The Avengers, The Lost Episodes.
All right, so that's scary. You'll find out in a moment when people get angry. Florida Amendment 5 extends Save Our Homes portability period. We want that. And it needs to be homesteady instead of steed. That they're saying homesteady. Great. Alexa, define instead.
The adverb instead is usually defined as a substitute or replacement, in the place or stead of someone or something. For more, ask me to give you
So
more
if you're in
definitions
it,
for
you are
instead.
instead over there. And these things just don't work out because people need to be allowed to travel and have more freedom. Everybody needs an anchor point, even if they spend more than 6 months at a different location. Their homestead is their homestead. So homesteady instead of stead. We want to make the word steady. I'm going to explain to you why everybody gets upset. Yeah, well, America's always been trying to kill the Aryan or the old families or the heritage, so they need to be homesteadies. But we're going to say steady state just to make sure history is continuous. Steady state. Theodore Scott Yoho, that's a separate thing. I was talking earlier about wanting to vote for other people within the state of Florida and how I wanted to vote for Ted Yoho, but he was outside my district. And so I didn't find that acceptable. Anyways. All right, so it says my account is verified. Account overview. I'm on the Rumble website. And ooh, you don't want to know. And trying to learn how to use it. I think I have to record and then upload there. All right. All right, so I'm going to tell this in the background, this annoying stuff that Google put on, that it can stop with its techno, whatever stuff. I prefer woodwinds, acoustic, and string. I was talking, and it just stopped on its own. All right, so woodwinds. Okay, Google, play woodwinds.
All right, check out this woodwind music station on YouTube Music.
Okay, Google, volume 3. Whatever, we'll get back to work. I hate you. Ghostbusters as a woodwind thing. All right, so yeah. Florida Amendment 6. Whoa, the screen refreshed itself. Florida Amendment 6, property tax discount for spouses, deceased veterans amendment. So that works. We're working on deceased veterans right now. Amendment 6 was designed to allow homestead property tax discount to be transferred to the surviving spouse of a deceased veteran. Under the measure, the discount would be in effect until the spouse remarries, sells, or otherwise disposes of the property. Okay, okay, Google, no jazz. Okay, Google, woodwinds.
According to Wikipedia, woodwind instruments are a family of musical instruments within the more general category of wind instruments. Common examples include flute.
Okay, Google, play music that is woodwind and no metal.
All right, Higher Love by Steve Winwood, playing on YouTube Music.
Whatever, women love it. Okay, Amendment 6 was designed. And also, okay, Google, volume 2 or something?
I understood volume 2.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes. Amendment 6 was designed to allow homestead property tax discount and transfer to surviving spouse of deceased veteran. Now, this is a problem, honestly. It can't be limited to veteran. It should be surviving spouse, and it shouldn't be of veterans only. Designed to allow homestead property tax discount to be transferred to surviving spouse of a deceased veteran. Under the measure, it would be in effect until the spouse remarries, sells, otherwise disposes of property. Under the measure, if the spouse sells the property and does not marry, spouse's new primary residence would be able to receive homestead tax discount not exceeding $1. Most recent, yada yada. There's just something wrong with people's heads. The fundamental rule is always do what benefits monogamy, but then they limited it to the people who murder other husbands. So it's like, still always do what benefits monogamy. But why would people say that ahead of school teachers, ahead of principals, ahead of police officers, ahead of anybody who works in the United States to make the United States better, those who murder strangers get this discount? And fuck all of you. Be a murderer, be a serial killer, discount. Care for America, live in America, make America great. Fuck all of you. Someone's kind of angry. That's what it says, though. That's what it communicates. It's just, I in order to be neutral and just say, okay, let's just do what's good for monogamy, whatever benefits monogamy. Thing is, this is one of those things you have to chase down and be like, okay, but we don't want unfair for people who agree to murder other people, because that goes against the Bible. Murdering other people bad. But then this says, hey, we love it when you kill other people. Go kill people. It's awesome. Like, they don't like being married, because the guys who are violent and abusive are being rewarded, and not many people ever kill their abuser. So it's like, even if there's like the threat that women can kill their husbands and get more protection or something, if it was going to be that, you'd say like a minimum of 10 years or something, because these things can go for years trying to get a woman out of jail. Whatever benefits monogamy. So this is a fucking stupid way to write something, but it benefits monogamy, so we're saying yes. Amendment 6 is a yes, even though they say that whoever kills strangers deserves better than anybody who lives in the USA. And that is really fucking fucked up and not acceptable. But this benefits monogamy, so we're hoping that it's right to permit this. We just have to fight to have it include everybody else. So Amendment 6. This is homestead spouses. Homestead spouses of serial killers. Because, I mean, if you shoot, you probably fire more than one bullet. I've never heard of a war that only involved one bullet. Yeah, that's done. But we're going to say yes, because I don't believe that. Well, I don't want to go into it. It just, women get treated as prostitutes by the military. This is true, though. And we really need to stop all. I mean, they even allowed transsexuals into the military under Obama, LGBT and everything. Men could be cross-dressers. Why would you do that? So men can know which men are open to it. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. And this is another one of those laws where it's like, wouldn't you rather be a woman of a soldier? Because I think they're only allowing 6 years instead of 10 years. I've said that a few times, but I'm just reading it here. Homestead tax in this section has been amended 12 times, which allowed veterans 65 and older to take a discount on their homestead property tax equal or proportional to the amount of disability, disabled person. Measure design. The measure is Article 7, new section Article 7. The ballot title is ad valorem. Well, that's just an instant fail. Latin's illegal. I was okay with it up until it opened in Latin. Then we're back in the Holy Crusades of kill anybody who's thin, pretty, or an athlete. Yeah, you're not going to believe it. None of the other ballots open with Latin, by the way. And the church declared in 1961 or 63. I guess 61 was the Berlin Wall, death to all Germans, because they're too fucking awesome. And they are awesome. And they're better, and their food is better. Their beer is better. And then 63, the Vatican said ending all Latin services around the world. And right now we're only giving Latin services to the military, even though we've ended Latin service for all the civilians. You'll find out in a moment why that seals this dead. All right, so ad valorem is a no. Because these people are living a fucking cartoon fantasy. You always, and this is the thing, I skip through to the actual ballot text sometimes. It's just quicker. It's nice to read. You can actually read the ballot itself, because reading comprehension isn't universal. Whoa. certain deceased veterans. And it says certain. It doesn't say all deceased veterans. So there's another fucking catch you and cheat out everybody else. Deceased veteran who had permanent combat-related disabilities. I hate you. Ballot summary. It just, these things have to apply to everybody. We're not a war state. We are a civilian state. The laws have to apply to everyone. And you would always say teachers first, parents first. You don't put guns first. You want educated parents to fucking survive in USA. And everybody instead is like, kiss the soldier's ass. I'm like, but the soldier is looking for LGBT in the military to fuck in the ass. So I'm saying, I don't want to say the soldier, but Obama and other leaders have permitted that stuff, and they teach it about the Navy and all of that, but none of that's acceptable. No anal for women, no anal for men. It's that simple. Yeah, wouldn't desire it. I was with a Reebok sports model who had me do that once a month, but she would do a distilled rinse or enema. So there was never anything there, and she used lube. Reality in America. Not into it. Don't ask for it. But sometimes models are just like, but other boyfriends have been here, so I love you, so you have to do everything they did. And I'm like, you're out to destroy the society. I know that y'all have like a brain problem. Like, I need to have a good guy want me as much as the bad guy or something. I don't want to say it like that. The bad guys were paralegals and other stuff. Sushi chef, a Jesuit priest. No, you're never going to believe it ever. She's a redhead from Florida, though. No, from Georgia. St. Mary's Island, Georgia. She was born in Georgia, came to Florida. I met her at Gainesville Health and Fitness. Anyways, provides homestead property tax discount for certain veterans with permanent combat related. So then it gets deeper. The text continues on. With permanent combat related disabilities carries over to such veteran surviving spouse who holds legal or beneficial title to and permanently resides on the homestead property until he or she remarries or sells or otherwise disposed of property. Discount may be transferred to a new property. The surviving spouse. The discount may be transferred to a new property of the surviving spouse under certain conditions. This is really fucking fucked up, to be honest. I've got to step back away from being insulted and them using Latin and just keep it simple. It benefits monogamy, but somebody has to like put this in a headlock and say this applies to everybody and not just the disabled and not just the military. Yeah, I'm done wondering. It's always do whatever benefits monogamy. Always do what benefits monogamy. I really don't like it, though, because it only applies to military soldiers. And does killing benefit monogamy? All right, so they have a clip-it of what the new thing would look like, what's being added and what's being deleted. Veterans Affairs United States Department to qualify for the discount granted by this subsection or paragraph, an applicant must, there's a subsection that's disappearing and they're adding a paragraph. Applicant must submit to county property appraiser by March 1st an official letter from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs stating the percentage of veteran services connected to disability, such evidence reasonably identifies disability. A veteran who receives the discount described in the paragraph predeceases his or her spouse. Now, does that mean that they murdered their spouse? Predeceases. I hate you. Because that really does sound like soldiers having people murder their family members. And that's an ongoing problem. Earlier in the grammar, it said something like that. Select, not just all disabled, but select members. The surviving spouse holds the legal or beneficial title of the homestead, property, and permanently resides thereon. The discount carries over to surviving spouse until he or she remarries or sells or otherwise disposes of the homestead property. If the surviving spouse sells or otherwise disposes of the property, a discount not to exceed the dollar amount granted for the most recent valorum tax is transferred to the surviving spouse's new homestead property. If used as his or her permanent residence, marries. The subsection is self-executing. Yeah, like reading this would cause people to murder their family. Self-executing. Oh no. And does not require implementing legislation. By legal law, subject to condition of limitations, the legislation may provide ad valorem tax relief equal or total amount portion of valorem owed on the homestead property to the surviving spouse of a veteran who died from service-connected causes on active duty as a member of the United States Armed Forces. They've been killing honest soldiers. Our own U.S. military has been killing soldiers. They call it friendly fire. They also call it suicides, and it wasn't a suicide. Surviving spouse of a first responder who died in the line of duty. First responder who is totally or permanently disabled as a result of injury. Stay in the line of duty. Ad valorem tax. This is such garbage, but we got one rule: whatever benefits monogamy. And this benefits monogamy, so final answer is yes, because it also includes soldiers murdered by other soldiers. I'm like, oh, well, we're sympathetic to the soldiers who have a moral conscience, choose not to serial kill, so they get murdered. It's called insubordination. It's actually a military crime to refuse orders to kill people. Serial murder or die. So we need to protect the families that are being pressured to murder anybody who's fit and pretty in any other state or nation. Obama has now actually added, I don't want to go into it. Obama is a fuck up. He didn't protect IVF, and yet he's childless without IVF. And he didn't extend the Health Information Protection Act beyond 7 years, even though he said, everybody can see everybody. It's all in the cloud. Everybody look around. And I'm like, that's scary. So anyways, we finally decided yes on that one. Even though the grammar, when you actually read the in context, the added text, but in the context blurb, hate you. So there's a school tax referendum. Sun Sentinel editorial board. Presently, whoa, what's going on here? School sales tax referendum. Duval County School Board has enacted for 15 years an additional tax, thereby increasing the total sales tax in the county from 7% to 7.5%. Simple majority is required for approval of school capital outlay sales tax. Yeah. The ballot title of school capital surtax referendum as follows: upgrade aging schools through the repairs and modernization to keep schools safe and to continue to promote conducive learning environment, to improve technology, place existing or build new schools, and share with charter schools for their allowed uses. Shall the Duval County School Board be authorized to levy a 15-year half-cent surtax, expenditures based on the surtax capital outlay plan and monitored by independent citizen committee. I approve a tax for education always. Okay. Always approve education. Problem. This is not a tax for the public schools. This is a tax for private schools, for charter schools that are not archived, not stored by the state, which is collecting the taxes. State taxes are for state taxes, okay? State is for state. Federal is for federal. Civilian is for civilian. They just said private military schools get this public tax from the public, because a lot of those charter schools are religious or military. I forgot the name. It starts with a Waldorf. I kind of like Waldorf, except that it has fiction in there that says, pick up a sword and kill Aaron. Aaron, that farmer over there with that cow, go kill all of those. That's Moses versus Aaron in the Bible. I'm voting no on the 5% tax because they're not giving it to Duval schools. They're giving it to charter schools. And everybody needs to go to the nearest school, to their house, or do online education. It doesn't make sense to pay for the busing and all the extra stuff and to make kids stay up an extra 2 hours before school, an extra 2 hours after school on multiple buses to get to wherever the school is. Nearest school, and all of it has to be owned or operated by the state. Yeah. So there are state records of everything. And so we're going to say no on the 5% tax, because do what's best for monogamy. The state is monogamous to the state. The state is not monogamous with parties that are not state or federal agencies. Do what's best for monogamy. This is not monogamy. This is giving to some insane outsource. So, surtax to charter schools. Charter schools are not part of the state system, and we have to make sure that everything gets preserved. Charter schools is a no. No. It's like, why do charter schools look nicer than public schools? Because the public's giving away its money to private individuals. And that's not acceptable. Yeah. Yeah, somebody's getting angry. You wouldn't believe it ever. Why do private schools look better? Because the money that should be going to the public school is going to a private school. Wouldn't believe it ever. Well, that fucking sucks. Yeah. And pardon the language, I didn't say that. Something spoke through me. A Jacksonville Charter referendum for the Jacksonville Electric Board member qualification and council authority. Appoint 4 members. Yes, vote support amending city charter to do the following. Authorize the city council to appoint 4 of 7 members of the Jacksonville Electric Authority Board, with the major appointing and the city council confirming the other 3, and require 1 city council appointee to be either a JEA employee or be recommended by JEA employee or a group of employees. That's interesting. I'm going to go with no, because that is allowing a corporation to appoint its own legislator to the city council, and that's not acceptable. Also, there are environmental concerns with JEA power not being clean. It's a line run out to Baldwin and then up to a nuclear plant in Georgia, and what we want to do is have the cars produce electricity for the houses. So that would violate the Constitution, where a corporation is telling the civilians that they have to be customers of JEA. And they would have a vote and a lobbyist in the city council. So this is a no. So right after the surtax for charter schools is your legislatures will come from the electric company. So Jack's Florida hates you. And it's also called a charter referendum. For JEA as a board member of the council. Now, there's always the chance that JEA would have a benevolent person, but it's a corporation that makes money off electricity. It's not likely to say, do this to cut out my investors or however JEA is owned, because I doubt it's one person. Alexa, does JEA have stock?
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Alexa, does the Jacksonville Electric Authority have a stock?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, so those are all the amendments. We're working on the back page now. And hate you. So who are we voting for president? President of the United States. There are actually a few people on the ticket. I've not heard of any of these. Hate you. These are all interesting, though. Hate you. So, president. Writing in Trump's name, because he's already president, and I believe 20 years. You're not going to believe why someone gets angry again. And also, I want to end the presidency and say that Congress decides because the majority vote or whatever has been the right vote. And a lot of times that they've staged it, which is consistent with the Articles of Confederation, saying that the Congress would rule everything and there wouldn't be a president. And then there was a lot of poisonings in Congress, so they moved the president outside. They didn't have sealable tamper-proof containers back then. I think the president can be in Congress now. Yeah. So we're voting Trump, but we're going to write down all these other parties and how they're spelt and how they're describing them. Republican. You're calling it a party. It should be a conference. Always a conference. Democratic Party. Constitution Party. I'm going to explain to you why someone cries about something not making sense to anybody. Green Party. Libertarian Party. Libertarian. That's spelt wrong. Libertarian. Alexa, define LIBER.
Liber is usually defined as phloem, the part of a vascular bundle consisting of sieve tubes, companion cells, parenchyma, and fibers in forming the food conducting tissue of a plant. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for Liber.
Yeah, it's weird. The eating party. I had a tea party, then I have an eating party. I hate you. So this is Joe Jorgensen. You don't know why someone gets angry. And party for socialism. and liver. Gloria Livera. I hate you beyond belief, to be honest. Green Party is interesting. Howie Hawkins. Neil, why do I know? It just said in my ear that God is cruel. God isn't cruel. God is military. And his goal is to kill all Aaron and all Lord. It's in the Bible. And the Masons say all the secrets are in the Bible. God kills Lord. Moses kills Aaron. Every sermon is basically that story. Man had sword. Man killed man. Man win Bible. Man did not write Bible, but man had sword. You'll find out in a moment. And then the Reform Party. Reform always sounds like a good word. But all of them are being called parties instead of conferences. Yeah. De La Fuente. That does not look like a Fuente. Blankenship. Don Blankenship. Constitution Party. I'm going to explain to you why someone gets angry. You don't know why someone cries, that it doesn't make any sense. It makes the sense that the military wanted to make. All these people are puppets. There were much better Democratic candidates. All right, so first and foremost, Michael Bennett. Hate you. Michael Bennett. Delaney, if I could remember how to spell Delaney's first name. I think it's John Delaney. Alexa, who is John Delaney?
According to Wikipedia, John Kevin Delaney is an American attorney, businessman, politician, and former 2020 Democratic presidential candidate who was the United States Representative for Maryland's 6th Congressional District from 2013 to 2019. On July 28, 2017, Delaney became the first Democrat to announce his run for president in 2020.
All right, so Delaney, then Inslee. Alexa, who is Inslee?
Ansley Limited, the business based in Hope.
Alexa, who is John Inslee?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Alexa, who is Governor Inslee?
According to Wikipedia, J. Robert Inslee is an American politician who has served as the governor of Washington since 2013. A member of the Democratic Party, he served in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1993 to 1995 and again from 1999 to 2012 and was a presidential candidate in the 2020 election. Born and raised in Seattle, Inslee graduated from the University of Washington and Willamette University College of Law.
Okay, so he was smart. Pete was more qualified than, I think it's Yang. Alexa, who is Pete Buttigieg?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, former South Bend, Indiana, Mayor Pete Buttigieg was running for president on the Democratic ticket in 2020, but suspended his campaign due to poor performance in the initial primaries.
Alexa, who is...
Sorry, can you repeat?
Alexa, who is presidential candidate Yang?
Here's something I found on Wikipedia. The
Andrew
2020
Yang.
presidential campaign of Andrew Yang, an attorney, entrepreneur, and the founder of Venture for America, began on November 6, 2017, when Yang filed with the Federal Election Commission to participate in the Democratic primaries.
You're never going to believe why someone gets angry about something. Venture for America, yeah. Oh, great. Governor and lawyer. That's not woodwind music playing on the radio right now. Okay, Google, play WBOB.
Okay, here's AM 600 and FM 101.1, the answer on TuneIn.
For Congress, we have two people. Congress 4th District. John Rutherford, the incumbent. Now, my opinion, looking at the census of the world, is that John Rutherford is suicidal. John Rutherford is a light-built, very honest man, first of all, very honest. But he believes we should shoot anyone who ever disagrees with the minister, and used to carry his gun, a concealed weapon, onto holy ground. And the military's goal is to shoot any guy that is his size around the world, John Rutherford's size, up here on the screen. We're hunting all the world to kill anybody who is his size and weight. And he's loyal and giving money to the military, even though the military goal is find John Rutherford and kill him and just ignore the colors, just the silhouette. He's all the Asians in Korea, in Vietnam. He's all the Arab. I don't want to talk about the Arabs, but he's more an Asian build. He's all the Iraqi, Pakistani. There's a lot of him everywhere. And his build. And yet he's like, hey, let's give money to them. They're going to shoot anyone who's my size and shape. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. He's on the Committee of Appropriations. He's on the Homeland Security Board, or was. He was on the Committee of Veterans Affairs. Key votes: terminate border wall emergency declaration, to terminate President Trump's declaration of an emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border, which allowed him to bypass Congress and reallocate funds to build a border wall. He voted against building, or the funds to build the border wall, reimpose federal net neutrality rules. He voted against net neutrality. Restate federal communication rules that would regulate internet service providers as a public utility. The result would protect providers from offering pricing models that let websites or customers pay more to get faster speed. Prohibit providers from blocking or throttling the speed of certain websites. Impose federal. Well, we want net neutrality so that the military can't control your internet connection. And he voted against that. So, your ability, free communication, free speech, he voted against protecting free speech. Rutherford voted against protecting free speech with the net neutrality thing. Yeah, so he voted against free speech on the internet.
The Biden campaign manager, you mentioned her before, tweeted this early today. Think about what this indicates.
Expand restrictions on online campaign ads. Regulate foreign involvement in elections. He voted against that. Campaign ads are good, I think. You have more time online than you do on a TV. And he voted against that. Oh, but to expand restrictions. I don't know. I kind of like making sure that they have to be truthful. Mandate federally approved before some states can change voting practices. To mandate that states and local governments must get approval of federal government before they make changes to voting practices in certain circumstances. This mandate for federal pre-clearance would apply to any state that has had 15 or more Voting Rights Acts violations in the past 25 years. The mandate would apply to local governments that have had at least 3 Voting Rights Acts violations in the past 25 years. Anyways. Yeah, I really want to vote before 4 o'clock. Mandate federal. All right, so this is still interesting. This is U.S. House Bill 4. I like this bill. Mandate federal approval before states can change voting practices. Mandate federal before state is yes. Man. He voted against that. Impeach President Trump for abuse of power. He voted against that. I voted against that. Impeach President Trump for obstruction of justice. I voted against that too. Direct President Trump to end hostilities against Iran. To adopt a non-binding House resolution directing President Trump to end military action in or against Iran unless Congress authorities such action. Rutherford is the same size and shape as most of the Irani, and Steve Jobs is identical to the Iran leader that was killed, leaving only fat people to run the military. Rutherford voted against keeping his own body shape alive. That's hysterical. I would vote to direct President to end hostilities. This is Ballotpedia. One of these recorders should be recording this. This is supposed to be recording. I said start recording and something stopped it from recording. Weird.
This is when we say Republic. I'm Sebastian Walker. This is America First, coming to you from the Relief Bank.
83. Going to explain to you why someone gets angry. Renew foreign surveillance authorization. I don't really know too much about FISA. A lot of it was said. House Bill 6172. All right. All right, so let's look at the other. All I know is that Rutherford is not good for his own physical safety and is way too military loyal. And he voted to aggress and kill anybody his body shape. He's running for election, U.S. House, 4th Congressional District. She's a ballot general election, Democrat primary office. Democrat primary for this office was canceled. Biography of Deegan was born in Jacksonville. She earned an undergraduate degree from Florida State University in '84. Her career experience includes working as an author, an investigative and political reporter, and as a news anchor. Oh, I thought she looked familiar. 100%. 100%. I am definitely voting for Donna Deegan. So that's really easy. I'll keep reading that later. Right now, I just need to get through the ballot. So for Congress, Donna Deegan. Statewide offices, there's only one person listed. He's an incumbent for the Florida Supreme Court, Carlos Muniz, Supreme Court.
Welcome to the bargain barn.
Can you tell me if this generator is enough to run the whole house? Okay.
You're not going to believe why someone gets angry. Florida House Representative, 16.
I'm just covering for someone who's out because they stepped in.
I'm probably here.
Hi, welcome to Tools for Time. What brings you in today?
I'm looking for a generator to run my refrigerator
Yes.
and freezer. But it can't be too bulky.
Let me show you the Honda EU 2200.
District.
Refrigerators and freezers have high startup wattage.
16.
And this Honda
Florida House of Representatives, 16. It's another ballot general.
is very portable. Honda EU series
Our primary is canceled. Biography of Ben is Concord, Massachusetts. He earned his bachelor's degree in social sciences from Jacksonville University in 2017.
Great, I'll take it. I'm so glad I came to Tools for a Time.
So are we.
Sounds young.
Find us online at toolsforatime.com.
Marcus earned an MPA from Jacksonville University in 2020. Okay, his career experience includes working for nonprofit consultant, small business owner, and a stay-at-home dad. That's kind of cool. It's actually ideal. The future is work from home. You're not going to believe why someone gets angry.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic? No active accident, but there is a broken down.
And I clicked on Jason Fisher just to see. We're still in favor of whoever can work from home. Ouch. Our Florida House. Come on. Fisher Republican. Biography. Florida Community College, Jacksonville. Subsequently graduated from University of North Florida with a BS in electrical engineering. It's actually really important. After graduation, he worked at Florida Power and Electric. What's an electrician going to do? Fisher left home to become a civilian engineer in the U.S. Navy. 2001, transitioned back into the private sector. Went to work for CSX Transportation after CSX. Fisher works for Holdings and their business development in Jacksonville, Florida. So that's kind of a scary path. We have a lot of phosphate and farming stuff being shipped out of Florida to other states. So I'm definitely voting for Ben Marcus. So soil and water.
The mind color that never gets hot, never loses its 10-year guarantee. He sold 51 million of them. And right now he's going to give you, because you're my friend, massive.
U.S. Marine Corps. That's not really a qualification. That's all I had for biography. Biography. No biography on this person. LaCarl Bates. No information here either. Is Ballotpedia cheating us, or did people just not apply to Ballotpedia? Hate you. I hate you so fucking much. Carter Jones.
So in Texas, we were told that Texas could go for Biden.
I have like no information on anybody. Like Arnold Bates, Ashanti Green. Ashanti Green. I'm just going to choose Ashanti Green because that sounds like a good name. And darker skin is better for agriculture. Tan or dark, all the Amazon people, all the Arab people, all the Africans. Actually, it's confusing because Africans are dark because they don't have trees. So tan is the right color. Tan's the right color. Oh, man. Yeah, like Arnold Bates. Garl Bates.
Journalism culture. You make it sound like something in a petri dish.
Can't find anything on this person. Images.
From the journalism culture mode, that's what, Ted Cruz, Ben.
Candidate report for voter focus. Ministries. Ministers are all about war. Girl-based Ministry International Black Preaching Network. Well, that's a no. So let's check out the green one, Ashanti Green. Why the hell would soil all be military? Ashanti Green. Yeah, I would have liked to have had my vote in days or weeks ago. On the 19th was the original plan, but something's been remote controlling my life. Ashanti Green. Green Duval. We're definitely voting Ashanti Green. I found her. Duval. Hate you. Soil and water. Ashanti Green. Neil, you make someone really stupidly fucking angry, to be honest. Well, they're not going to accuse you of being insane. Great. I'm going to explain to you why someone gets angry. What? Cognitive radar and radar TMS. Duval County Clerk of Court. Self-sustainability is better than profit and all that. Everybody should be on a home steady state. Like Ballot Peter just, for these other things, didn't get enough information. We really need a way for everybody to interact with this thing. Jody Phillips. So we have to search these names. Clerk of Courts. Jimmy Midyetti. Jimmy Midyetti. I think he's in favor of LGBT. That's pretty awful. Yeah. All right. So who's the other one? Jody Phillips. Jody Phillips. Yeah, I always got to own my decisions, even if I'm tardy. I have to do these things. I'm listening to the radio at the same time. I hate you so fucking much, you wouldn't believe it ever. Interior design. And what office is this? Duval Clerk of Courts and Interior Design.
You must stay there until you are guaranteed your vote. That's how it works all across America. Thank you, Mark. Coming to us live from Ballot. Follow him right now, Mark Davis on Twitter.
Let's check her page. She has a page. Yeah, like I don't know how long I've been recording. Something's making me hungry. I don't like any of this. Jody Phillips is a man. An interior design man, I'm guessing. I thought it was a woman. Saw photos a moment ago. Fraternal Order of Police, Jacksonville Association of Firefighters, Clerk of Court, Sheriff Mike Williams. Well, Mike Williams is good. Rutherford couldn't save himself. Would not save. Votes against himself because he doesn't know that it's not skin color. We have this problem with most white hair people not seeing their shape, just seeing colors, because the word is white, so they get confused and they think that they're white, but it's actually body shape. All right, so Jody Phillips. Let's see if I can find the website for the Jimmy Midyetti and check his page. Jimmy has a page. Why did it give me the images of Jimmy? I'm trying to visit his page. I got to the one for whoever the other person is. Jimmy for clerk. Let's find out which of these two. I hate you. As a native and lifelong resident of Jacksonville, I've always looked for ways to help improve our city. I grew up on the city's west side, where I attended public schools in Baldwin. I went to law school to get skills needed to help people. I've spent my entire legal career working in public interest, putting my values into practice, and living out my faith. When I'm not working, I enjoy all that Jacksonville has to offer, especially our parks and budgeting restaurant scene. I want to next work for you as a clerk of court because I've learned in my career how important it is to have a clerk that welcomes the whole community into the courthouse. I want to put my passion and skills behind the people of Jacksonville and continue always to fight for what's right. Well, fight for what's right. I spent on building a legal system, then ignoring the people in the court it's supposed to work for. All right, so let's look back at the other one. What kind of things does this one say? Interior design is all, and it's a male. That just doesn't sound like a good thing to me. A male in interior design? I wouldn't want a woman doing interior design, no offense. Jody Phillips is currently a chief operating officer for Duval County Clerk of Courts with 35 years of experience. Jody has skills and knowledge necessary to successfully lead the courts. No, I'm going to vote for the other one. And the other one's name is Jimmy. All right, it's about to Ballotpedia. Jimmy Midyetti. Jimmy Midyetti. Fine. We've had some problems with records not being filed. Duval Soil and Water Conservation Group. Only one with a photo. I got to write down Ballotpedia. Ballotpedia.com. He's running for election at Duval Soil. Group 2. No biography. is a healthy looking person. So whatever. It's the only one that Ballotpedia shows. We'll figure this out in a moment. For right now, I'm just Duval soil. It's kind of scary though. His one photo has nothing to do with soil. Duval soil and water. There's only lights in the background. Oh, but they're around palm trees or something. That's interesting. Nighttime. Florida District Court of Appeals. Florida District Court of Appeals. Lewis's seat. First District Court of Appeals. Scott Maker's seat. I think this is just asking if we confirm these people to stay in office. Great. So I guess I should just abstain from all of that because they don't have any competition and I don't know anything about them. So the District Court of Appeals, I'm just going to abstain because they're running unopposed or something. And I don't want to vote in favor or against. Fourth Court, they're all incumbents, all unopposed. So I'll probably leave that blank. Community development districts. All right. Well, I got through that. Let's get to my nearest ballot place. Got 3 hours to submit my vote. Hate you. God damn it. All right. So there's my tab for voting. And we want to be able to vote online. Cultural affairs, library information services. I think I will go to the library. It's probably the nearest place to vote. Hate you. Oh, come on. Duval. Voting. Where the hell nearest voting station? I hate you. Nearest voting station. So I started that recording late. Florida Amendment number 4 is no. Florida Amendment number 1 is no. Florida Amendment number 3 is okay. I said no. I said, what's going on with Florida Amendment 3? Why would it cost more? Open should increase. So this is no. Florida Amendment is 3. Says 3 no's. Then a yes. Then a yes for homestead. A yes for the other homestead. And then Trump. All right, so your home location is this? Yes. Where to vote? Englewood Baptist Church. Open till 7. All right, so we're going to Inglewood Baptist Church. Hate you. And that's on Kennerly. See directions. And Trump, Congress, the incumbent, U.S. bill, da, 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 da. All right, so Congress, didn't mean to block all that out. All right, so Trump, and then Congress, Donna Deegan, Supreme Court, Carlos Munez, District 16, Ben Muru, I can't even say his name, Ben Muriz or something. I can spell it anyways. Mureus, Muriz, maybe. Ben Muriz. Duval Soil and Water, Ashante Green. Duval Clerk of Court, Jimmy Midyetti. Duval Water. I only had one person there. And then everybody else I abstain from. Let me get the water one. I have enough time to research the water people, even though they weren't listed. I mean, even though they didn't have any bios or photos or anything on Ballotpedia. I have enough time to search that. So, clicking directions. Come on, give us directions. All right. Where the hell are the directions? This is the most annoying thing ever. There's Kennerly. So it's right behind. All right, well, I know where it is anyways. I've been there before. You'll find out in a moment when people get angry. Well, I was just choosing the one person that was listed. But I actually have time to research the unlisted people for soil and water. You make people angry. Don't mess with my mind. Soil and water. Supposedly. All right. Vinod Kumar. Vinod Kumar. Soil and water. Voter focus. Voter focus. Campaign finance. That's not what I'm looking for. That's where he's listed. Man, this makes me upset. It doesn't make any sense. Here's Kumar for soil and water, so he's got his own website. I'll begin explaining to you why people get upset. You don't know why people get angry. Master's of Business Administration. Was a private practice consulting engineer. Federal government, military bases, energy projects. Retired energy, conservative engineer. Used to work for Jacksonville Electric Authority. Red tides on the beaches, algae in St. Johns River, and seawater level rise. And then there's John Nooney. John Nooney. I will eat before I go. It's not really good video footage, though. Trying to keep this in check. Ballotpedia, Voter Focus, Duval, Soil and Water. All right, here's a link to it. A blog, Meet the Duval County Soil and Water. Candidates. There's John Barnes, Vinod Kumar. We don't want any Fisher people. John J. Nooney, hell no. And he didn't provide any statements to Duval Soil and Water. Vote for Matt Reamer to clean up dirty work. Clean up the dirty work. Matt has always had an interest in running for office, and there is no better time than now. Soil and water conservation play an important role. Sustainability of nature resources. Matt will put the best interests of the people, Duval County first. Too many elected officials are looking out for themselves, certain groups, and only those that share their opinions. That has to change. The time has come for leadership to listen to people and represent, and that is what Matt Reamer promised to do for you after graduating from you. This is Soil and Water, and he's saying that he wants to do what's popular, vote, instead of what's right for the land. You don't do popular vote for land use. No offense to anybody, but not enough farmers around. Construction management, 6 years. He's a former construction guy, so that's just a hell no. Girl Bates, beautiful city of Jacksonville, West Side, Riverside, mother of two, a daughter and sister, graduated system Florida State, legal studies, sociology major, roots run deep, compassion regarding for the city. My pursuant public office inspired by those healthier souls and water community who desire a healthier soil. Being a past city council candidate and grassroots campaign representative over the course of 10 years, give me experience, allow me to understand the need for people understand. Again, this is the need of the people rather than what benefits the soil and water. My name is Arthur Bynes. For the past 10 years, my studies and career are focused on water and water resources. I've turned my passion into my profession. My knowledge and expertise, water and water resources. Now, this is strange because I saw him, but he was in the first list, and I chose a different person, didn't I? Duval Soil and Water. Chose Ashante Green versus him. Where's the division here? Group 2. I guess that's group 2. So for group 1, group 4. This is weird. It says group 2. Okay, so there's group 4. All right, so everybody chosen for group 4. So for group 2, we have Vinod Kumar and we have John R. Barnes. John is a proud alumnus of the University of North Florida. Reach out to our community, increase awareness, be a voice for our city, partner with local schools and honor teachers, and engage our students, collaboration with local electoral officials and agencies for the betterment of our citizens. All right, so like 100%, we're for John R. Barnes. And this other one's like a military cleanup person. Even though he's got dark skin, Vinod Kumar seems like a boogeyman. To reduce or eliminate raw sewer discharge into it. Raw sewer discharge, among others, is a source of algae growth, which is a toxin. And he has a bad fucking brain. We're definitely for John R. Barnes. This military one's an idiot. Group 2. This is group 4. Group 2, John R. Barnes. All right, I'm going to conclude this video and start up a new one where I just read off all my choices. Yeah. All right. So Florida Amendment number 4, no. Florida Amendment number 1, no. Florida Amendment number 3, no. Florida Amendment number 2, yes. Florida Amendment number 5, yes. Florida Amendment 6, yes. And the surtax on property, no. The surtax to charter schools is a no. And then the charter referendum to JEA, to put a JEA member on the city council. I want to vote no on that. The electric company, it's like you would want the electric company to have a yes on the board, but their interest is serving more electric customers or serving more electricity. So I would say no. And also, you don't want corporations controlling the government. So again, I would vote no. So no. These amendments is Amendment 4, no. Amendment 1, no. Amendment 3, no. Amendment 2, yes. Amendment 5, yes. Surcharge for charter schools, no. JEA Council, no. Congress Donna Deegan, Carlos Munez for Supreme Court. District 16, Ben Murez. Duval Soil and Water Group 4 is Ashante Grain. Duval Court, Jimmy Midyetti. Duval Soil and Water Group 2 is John R. Brown. Is that really Brown? Barnes. How does it look like Brown? Barnes. John R. Barnes. District of Appeals. We're leaving all these blank because they are all incumbents. Unchallenged incumbents. All right. All right. So stopping recording and then just going to do a really fast record. Actually, I should go there. I can record my decisions afterwards. I got to take care of all this. I'm trying to hang up the recording. I'll stop the YouTube one. Oh, hello, YouTube. I turned up the screen really high, didn't I? Hello. It's like hands together. I don't know. Anyways, so love you all.